Welcome back to AEC Today Reports, January 2025. Can you all believe we are in another year? I still can't believe it. But nevertheless, here we are, and we're so excited because, as always, Allegheny East has a lot of awesome things going on, and we're so excited to share all of them with you. We thank you for tuning in, and we're looking forward to talking to one of our young people who has some great entrepreneurial endeavors. We're going to be talking to our health ministries leader, Dr. Anthony Medley. We're also going to have a conversation with one of our educators, Principal Francis Foote, and all the wonderful things happening at Dupont Park Adventist School. And we're even going to have a chat with one of our local pastors, Pastor Rabiel Torres, about the Compassion Project that they will be doing in 2025. You heard all of that? Well, all of it's coming up next, so make sure you stay tuned.
Hello and Happy New Year to our entire Allegheny East family. I'm giving God thanks that He has brought you and I into another year of His promises and provision. I believe that something spectacular is about to happen. The prophet Joel tells us that in the last days that God is going to pour out His Spirit on all flesh. And it says that whosoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Friends, the latter rain is about to fall. Acts 3:19 says that the times of refreshing will come from the presence of the Lord. And that's why our vision as we lead together is Refresh AEC. I see the Spirit of God falling all across our great conference, from New Jersey to Virginia, and everywhere in between. And our vision is that we become a thriving conference of growing churches and schools, refreshed by the Holy Spirit to proclaim the everlasting gospel, to empower our communities through faith, love, justice, and service, and to prepare the world for the second coming of Christ. As we kick off this year, all of our churches will be participating in the Pentecost 2025 initiative. Over 5,000 churches and schools across the NAD will be sharing Jesus through evangelistic meetings. Oh, we're going to see a kingdom harvest. But this year, we also celebrate an amazing milestone. 80 years ago, on January 1st, 1945, the Allegheny Conference, our mother conference, officially opened for ministry. We've been doing this gospel work in our territory for 80 years. To God be the glory. We'll be commemorating this milestone throughout the year, but we'll also have a kickoff event on February the 15th called Allegheny at 80, a look at our past, present, and future. And that's going to be held at the Emmanuel Brinklow Church. It'll also be live streamed there at the Brinklow Church in Maryland. Our conference leaders and our executive committee have also been working diligently over the past several months on a new strategic plan for our conference. We'll be traveling to every area and holding town hall meetings to share these ideas with you and also to hear from you. So stay tuned for the dates and for the times in the spring of this year. Family, as we go through what looks to be some troubling waters in the months and the years ahead, I want you to believe God with me, that God is working all of this out for your good. This is a setup for our Savior's return. And so may God bless you, and may He keep you and your loved ones and your family this year as we together prepare to be refreshed.
Welcome back to AEC Today Reports. Every month in 2025, we want to not only highlight one of our schools, but we also want to highlight our departments and what they are doing throughout the conference. And so for the month of January, we're happy to welcome our health ministries leader, Dr. Anthony Medley. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Healthy New Year to you. It's great to be with you, Latasha.
Yes. Happy, healthy New Year. What was that?
Healthy New Year. Healthy New Year.
Yes. Healthy New Year to all of us. Thank you for being here. Now, one of the things, anyone who knows you, one of the words that is synonymous with health ministries at Allegheny East is the word deliverance. And we see it there on your sweatshirt. So tell those who do not know about deliverance yet what that is all about.
Oh my, thank you, thank you. Yes, deliverance is the motif in which we will execute all of our health ministries initiatives in the Allegheny East Conference. Now, for individuals who do not know or not aware of the word deliverance, it shouldn't be a surprise to you because through the years in the Adventist church, especially, there have been different organizations, entities that have come up with different ways to promote Ellen White's 8 natural laws of health. So one of the oldest ones we've heard of is New Start.
Right.
And New Start is by Weimar Institute. It's not by the Adventist Church, but Weimar. And a lot of health ministries, leaders and churches and other organizations have followed the principles that come from New Start. I've done that also. But in addition to New Start, there's also from the Advent Health in the Florida area, there is the acronym and the word of creation and creation health.
Right.
That's another acronym. And the book was originally written by Dr. Monica Reed on creation health. And so Advent Health has taken that, have created programs, videos, workshops, and et cetera, trying to get individuals to live through creation health. Very popular program. And I've used that one successfully also. There's a third one also in the church at the General Conference called Celebration.
Oh.
And celebration, the word celebration is also an acronym that pulls each letter out and to give individuals a holistic approach to how they go about doing holistic health ministries in the local context and for individuals. Well, all three of those are good. But the Lord impressed upon my heart, especially during COVID, was really when this started. We started looking at the first waves of deaths that happened when COVID first, that pandemic first came to our country, and the lives that were being lost. If you look at the wave of the hundreds of individuals that are being lost, and the epicenter being New York City and New Orleans, what we discover is that the majority of those initial people who died were people of color.
Right.
And they were dying because they had underlying comorbidities and diseases that impacted them, from asthma to diabetes, obesities to hypertension, to lack of health care, and et cetera. So when we started seeing all these deaths that impacted our communities, communities of color, I began to wrestle with that. It was a very difficult time for a number of us. I know many people who are watching you had problems with what was taking place in COVID.
Right.
And of course, I was disturbed because I wanted, from the Black Adventist Church, from the regional conferences, I was the one calling to bring all of the healthcare professionals together that we have in our churches, across our conferences, our 9 regional conferences. And I was looking for a comprehensive approach to how we're going to address health in the Black community, especially since many of the deaths were caused by preventable diseases, things that could eradicate it if we had paid attention to holistic health. So it was in that spirit, during that timeline, others are praying, and I'm praying for healthcare workers. We're praying for our churches that were closed, schools that were closed, and all the dynamics that were taking place in that time period. So the Lord began to impress upon me, instead of just complaining and pointing and saying what needs to be done, what can you do as an individual? And Latasha, this was before I came to the position.
Right, I'm realizing that.
And so what was interesting is, while I was wrestling with what is it that God wanted me to do as a believer in holistic health, as a believer in the holistic health message that God had entrusted to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, then as a pastor, what am I supposed to do with this? But it wasn't until I was asked to serve in the position as Health Ministries Director. That's when God finally revealed to me, your word is deliverance. Deliverance is also an acronym. Of course, it's 11 letters in it. And, I talk about deliverance.
Right.
But what is special about it is, first of all, deliverance takes in the 8 natural laws of health that are part of the Adventist church. It doesn't run away from those. It really enforces those. But in addition to that, deliverance also requires us to do what Jesus did. That's why I also suggest that every health ministries leader in the local church must read the book Ministry of Healing. Because out of that book that we find out Jesus went about healing. And one thing about Jesus, we read the Ministry of Healing in Scripture, that not only did he heal individuals, but Jesus was a social activist. He spoke against injustices. And so deliverance is not only about looking at the 8 natural laws of health. There are components in deliverance that deals with our responsibilities to take our message to community and to help to turn over, to transform the social determinants of health that exists in community, the health disparities in communities. So collectively, deliverance introduces to health ministries leaders and the local church a holistic approach that addresses church and community. Because one thing about Jesus, that if we're only serving ourselves, it is not a complete holistic message. That we are called to transform the world. And remember, this is a soapbox, so you got to pull me off. So remember, the church was officially organized on June 6, 1863. In some 13 days, May 21st, 1863. And God gave to the church the third of Ella White's comprehensive health vision on June 6, 1863. That's the comprehensive health vision that we build so much on. There were others, health visions also, but that one had 33 principles in it, the June 6, 1863. After the church was organized, what did God give to the church? A holistic health message, not just for us, but for the world to benefit from it. And we've seen studies how Adventists live longer. We've seen some of those studies and so forth. Well, deliverance is to speak to our people with a holistic, relevant health message for Black and Brown communities.
Okay.
Stop there and answer your question.
I know, we know you love deliverance, and it's great. I mean, it's not just about our personal health, but those around us as well. I think that is the key to this whole program. And so I know to start the year, you developed something to kind of help people get into this groove of deliverance with this 30-day program. Tell us more about that and how people can get involved with it.
Absolutely. Thank you. So at the beginning of the year, as is every year, individuals come up with New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Things they want to do. And they normally focus on things like diet and exercise and et cetera. And there's nothing wrong with those. But studies really indicate that the majority of the people who start New Year's resolutions in beginning of January, normally within a week to 2 weeks, they fall by the wayside because habits are hard to transform and change. And sometimes they're so grandiose and so big they become difficult. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's a vegan elephant, that is. But what is interesting, so I wanted to introduce a 30-day whole life challenge to Allegheny East Conference. But I wanted to be practical, some basic things that individuals can do. And it doesn't have to start at the beginning of January.
Still time.
I mean, you got time anytime. It's never the wrong time to start doing something right and good for your health. So there is no lost opportunity if you start in February or March, April, whenever it is, because there's always an intellectual, mental, emotional preparation that individuals have to go through to start new habits. You just don't jump in. It changes in your mind first. You have to see yourself doing it, put things in motion. So this 30-day whole life challenge out of deliverance is intended to help individuals to maximize their lives, their health, in some very tangible ways. So the 30-day challenge really has 7 steps. Do you want me to go through them now? Or how do you want to?
Let's just run them down real quick.
Okay. So step number 1 is to do something spiritual.
Okay.
We always got to start with God. So I try to encourage folks, read everything that John has written. because John has written about Jesus. So
Right.
read all of it as a starting point, or, read a psalm, memorize a scripture for 30, do something practical
Right.
for the 30 days. And then the second thing is do something physical.
Hmm. Ooh.
For me, worship is not complete until there's worship in motion,
Mm-hmm.
because God created us to move. And for me, that is an act of worship.
Absolutely.
So it's not drudgery, it's not exercising. It's one of the ways of giving glory back to God, because fearfully and wonderfully made, and God made us to move.
That's right.
And so we can move. So I talk about number two, the issue of doing something physical is about movement. 30 minutes a day. Just move.
Just move.
You don't have
Just
to
do
go
it.
to the gym. You can do work around your house.
Yeah.
You can walk up and down steps. I just try to encourage folk to identify 30 minutes a day that you are actively doing something. And let that build, let that become something else, let that transform you. And then you can move to other things. The third step is to do something emotional. One thing we discovered in COVID is about the mental illnesses that really exist. It just exacerbated what was already there.
Right.
And I don't want us to run from those things. And so I talk about not only the third step by doing something emotional, but also, not being around toxic people. Surround yourself with positive people, positive resources. Reach out for help. It's okay to reach out for help. Fourth critical thing is do something for your relationship. I talk about being relational.
Right.
It may be something as simple but as powerful of rebuilding a broken bridge with a family member. You know that family you haven't talked to for years, because of the hurt? Because there are two kinds of hurt that hurt deeply: family hurt and church hurt. Those are two of the deepest hurts that individuals experience. But you gotta get to the point where you rebuild those relationships with people. The fifth step number 5, is do something financial. Let's be holistic here. I save more this month than you saved last month.
Yeah.
Whatever, just save more. And get this one. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. Stop impulsive spending. Stop impulsive spending. That means, if the Amazon driver knows you personally, that means coming to your house
It's a problem.
way
Yes.
too often. There's a problem there. So stop the impulsive spending, because they make it so easy, so simple.
Yeah.
Stop the impulsive spending. And then create a plan to pay off credit card debt. Those are basic things that you can do. The sixth step is to rediscover your purpose. God placed us all here with a purpose. And I think it's important that we revisit, we understand, and we rediscover, God, what is my created purpose for being here? And the seventh and the last part of this 30-day challenge is to celebrate. I talk about something as singing a song out loud in front of everybody, especially for people who can't sing. You ought to be the loudest singer around. Sing your favorite song out loud. Post online. Tell everybody about your own journey, your own challenge, and then challenge somebody to journey with them. Say, hey, I have 30 days. I'm ready to do it for another 30 days. Let me journey with you, so we can do this together, and watch what will take place as we take on this challenge, as we embrace it and move forward together. So that's our 30-day
challenge
that comes from deliverance. And I hope everybody will at least participate in this challenge.
I'm glad that you said it's never too late to start, because with the 30 days challenge, it can start the day you're watching this. It can start the first of the month. It can start tomorrow. The point is to start it and do it consecutively for 30 days. And the hope is that eventually it will become a habit and a part of your lifestyle and not just a challenge, right?
Absolutely. I wish there was some way that they can communicate. They can email back at the conference office. We can kind of get a movement of people who are doing the challenge. I would love to connect with individuals just to know how it's going.
Well, let's put it out there. If you're doing the 30-day challenge, or you want to do the 30-day challenge, go ahead and email Dr. Medley, Medley at aecsda.com. Let him know you're starting the challenge, you completed the challenge, and some of the things that you have seen along the way. Yeah, we'd love to even bring someone back on here to share how they were
Wonderful.
able to
Wonderful.
incorporate those 7 steps. Let's do
Yes.
it.
Love it.
All
Love to.
right. So AC, you've officially been challenged. Okay.
Can I
So
also
good.
can I also
Yeah.
add now, I also want to celebrate individuals who are already doing challenges
Hmm.
or taking these holistic principles and you're living them, you're doing them. Keep it up. But just don't keep it to yourselves.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
make
the
this
key.
contagious. Let's engage other people where they are. Now, mind you, people are at different levels. We have to
Right.
respect and honor that. But let's make this contagious. Let's make Allegheny East the healthiest, holistic, healthiest conference in the world. Let's
We
do
can
that.
do it. Yes, I
We
love
can
that.
do it.
Now that's a challenge worth taking up. So in addition, I mean, with wonderful things going on with deliverance, one of the things under there is a sub ministry of the health department, which is our Adventist recovery ministries. And I know we have Elder James Jackson, who's one of the coordinators with that. And I know that's something that your department particularly wants to push this year. Can you tell us a little bit more about that ministry?
Absolutely. Adventist Recovery Ministry is such an important component to whole life wellness
Mhm.
that is often not ignored, but not highlighted. And let
Okay.
me explain. For instance, in deliverance, the word A stands for addictions,
Right.
stands for addictions. And what is prevalent in all communities, and the Adventist Church is no exemption, and especially churches of color, is that individuals, all individuals, suffer from some kinds of addictions.
Hmm.
Now, we only highlight, of course, the substance abuse and et cetera, but addictive behaviors exist in all of our churches,
Mhm.
from shopping to pornography to substance abuse to workaholicism.
Yeah.
There are so many levels of addictions that go without treatment.
Mm.
And there's not a safe place really to deal. No one just comes up at the altar Sabbath morning to the church and say, "Hi, I'm an addict. I'm
Right.
addicted. I'm strung out on something." It doesn't work that way because often the church is not viewed as a safe place
Mm-hmm.
to deal with not only the addiction, but the recovery components, the steps that are necessary for it. Well, Adventist Recovery Ministry that has been in existence in our church speaks to the totality of addictions. And we have someone, we have James, we have someone in our conference who has been committed. He and his team have Brother Jackson been committed to this ministry for years.
Right.
And the reason why it's not often highlighted, it takes place at camp meeting. During the entire camp meeting, there is an addiction recovery ministry that exists. Well, here's the tension. Individuals who are brave enough to acknowledge their addiction and seek help, there is a level of confidentiality that goes
Right.
with that process also for them and their families and et cetera. And it is a long process. Addiction is not a quick fix.
Right.
So the Adventist Addiction Recovery Ministry is critically important, and it's okay. It's okay for Christians, for Adventist family, not to be ashamed of the addictions that exist in your home. There's help
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Yeah, there is
There are
help.
resources for you, and we have to learn how to reach out, how to know that there's real care. There are individuals who can really journey with you through the ups and downs of addiction recoveries. We will prioritize this as a vehicle for wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
So many people who have suffered in silence and
Right.
continue to suffer in silence in our churches. So thank
Yeah.
you, Latasha, for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we'll make sure that there's information on our health ministries page about how you can get involved, whether it's starting a ministry at your local church or other resources. So definitely check out the health ministries page for that. Now, before we go, because we're ready to go start our challenge, our 30-day challenge. But
There we go.
before we
Oh,
go,
oh.
Before we go, part of your role kind of exposes you to being a part of a lot of wonderful things from various organizations, news networks. And so I'm hearing that you've been invited to be part of some type of advisory or give some commentary on a very important documentary that's coming up. Can you share just a little bit about that before we go?
Yeah, I sure can. First of all, thank you for mentioning that. God is so good, and what is discovered, if you're following what he asks you to do, he opens doors. Most recently, there is an organization that is contracted with PBS to develop a special documentary it's going to be called Critical Condition, and it looks at Black health in America, at the medical racism that exists in Black health in America. And it really is going to premiere April 30th of this year in PBS. It's called Critical Condition, and it looks at the racism in healthcare in Black America. Well, in addition to that, there is an advisory committee that has been established. They've reached out to medical personnel from Yale. They've reached out to medical personnel from Howard, from Emory, and a couple other prominent physicians of color to be a part of this panel. It's about 4 or 5 of us. And then they reached out to me as an individual coming from the faith-based community. They asked, would I also be an advisor to be a part of this? And I well, my first thing was I'll be honored to, but if this is dealing with the issue of medical care, racism, Black people, that I come from the faith-based community. And the person's always said, exactly. So you are a Black Seventh-day Adventist pastor, and we've listened to your passion for health, not just in your church, but in the community. And so I've been asked to be a part of this advisory committee because after the PBS is shown on April the 30th, then the next step is how do we then take the information that is there and how do we continue to transform communities? And they wanted somebody from the faith-based community, and God saw fit that they reached out of all the faith-based communities. They reached out to the Seventh-day Adventist, and they went to the bottom of the barrel and they found me.
No way! They started at the top. AEC.
So I'm honored to represent Allegheny East Conference. I'm honored to represent the healthcare professionals and those who are passionate about health. And I just pray to represent God and represent not only our conference, but most importantly, to make sure that this information reaches the vast number of underserved people in our communities.
We understand you have a passion for us all to be delivered and to have that holistic health as a part of our lives and those around us. So we appreciate that passion. And we also appreciate you sharing, giving us a 30-day challenge. We also appreciate knowing a little bit more about our Adventist Recovery Ministries. And then we're also cheering you on as you're part of this important documentary. So we just want to say thank you for what you're doing in Health Ministries. And if you want to reach out to our health director, if you're a health leader, you need resources, feel free to reach out to him, Abe Medley at aecsda.com. And don't forget to check out our Health Ministries website. Visit aec.org/health. All right, Dr. Medley, thanks so much for joining us and giving us those updates.
Welcome. You're absolutely welcome. One last thing.
Yes.
For Black health, February is not the only month that we talk about Black. Okay, that's a matter we talk about year long. So a lot of invitations come.
Spread it out.
Yeah. For February. It's all year long. Okay. Yes, thank you.
That's a good note. Thank you for that. All right, everyone, we'll see you right after this break. All right, guys, we're here to answer your frequently asked questions about our 10th anniversary Camp God Cruise. Question number 1, who can come? All right, we know that this is sponsored by our communication department, and it really is designed for our communication local ministry leaders. However, because we're celebrating, this is open to anyone who wants to join us. Number 2, I want to go, but I can't find anyone in my church who wants to go with me. What do I do? It's okay. We know the rooms are double occupancy. If you just have a friend or a relative that you want to join you, that's completely fine. It doesn't have to be a ministry partner in your church. Number 3, will there actually be training on the cruise? Absolutely. CamCon wouldn't be CamCon without a little training. But we're only going to do it 3 of the 7 days that we're on the trip. And it's only for a little bit in the morning, those days that we are cruising. Number 4, how much is this cruise? Well, the lowest you will pay is $14.27 per person. Now, depending on which room you choose, it could go up more. But that covers your cruise and all of the food that you will eat that week on the cruise. Number 5, are payment plans available? Absolutely. You have an initial down payment of at least $250 per person, and then after that, you will work out whatever it is for you to be done with your payment by April of 2025. Number 6, what's the cruise line and the ship? We'll be cruising on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. Number 7, where will the ship be going? We'll be going to Coco Cay, Bahamas. We'll also be going to St. Thomas and St. Kitts and Nevis. Is there a deadline to sign up? We would love for you to sign up by November the 30th to make sure we can secure your spot on the trip. Number 9, what if I have more questions? Who can I talk to? You can talk to our travel coordinator, Janet Badal with Paradise Resort Travel. For information, it's right here. Number 10, what if I'm ready to sign up? Just go to the link in the description for the caption, follow the prompts, and you'll be there. You can sign up right online. Hello, welcome back to AEC Today Reports. We are always so excited when we have the opportunity to hear from one of our schools and to speak to one of our leaders there. And so we're so happy to have with us the principal of Dupont Adventist School, Ms. Frances Foote. Thanks for being here. How are you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. I am just great.
Okay, great. Happy New Year to you. I haven't talked to you since the new year began.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year.
So, we're into the second semester of school, as we call it. So if you had to give Dupont Adventist School and the school year so far a grade, because, we're in that academic setting, what would you give it at this point?
Oh, my goodness. What would I give it? Well, I would say this. If we went by a letter grade,
Uh-huh.
I would say that the first 2 quarters would be an A.
Okay.
We also go by standards based, so 1 through 4.
Okay.
4 means that I know how to do it. I can do it all by myself, and I can teach someone else.
Okay.
So I would say that we are at a 4. We
Okay.
can teach someone else if we had to. Yes.
I love that. Amazing. So I'm hearing that DuPont has a lot of great, exciting new things that are going on in the school year. Some of the things that you've done to expand what you're able to offer the students at the school, and we just really wanted to hear about some of what's been going on there. So can you share some of the highlights of the additions?
Oh, yes, I can. God has really, really blessed DuPont Park Adventist School tremendously. I will start with our library, which we call our book nook. And it is a room that our students go to where they can just read. They are not in there because they have to do a book report or anything like that. It is very comfortable. They have bean bags, they have leather chairs, leather couch, rugs on the floor. They have their own separate carpets if they want to sit on them. They also have puzzles in there, books. We received it. We received a grant for $148,000. So we were able to purchase books the furniture. And what I was able to do also was I was able to spread the wealth.
Okay.
So even though I purchased it for a library, I was able to use the furniture that we bought from a library store. So it's
Oh,
very good furniture. And so we have upgraded the classrooms also. So all of our
wow.
classrooms have new furniture in them, new
Wow.
chairs. Yes. And we were even able to put some with our kindergartners. So we were able to give them some of our chairs also. They're what you call it, ergonomically correct. So they have a
Yeah.
little tip in the back.
Back support.
Um,
Okay.
yes. And the company was so pleased with our purchase that they gave me a $12,000 gift card. So I was able to get desks for two of our classrooms that did not get desks. So they have these nice desks that they can move around. They're in a triangle shape and they can move them around in different centers. You can put three, you can put four, you can put two. Um,
Wow.
it has really, really worked out. That is our library, our book nook.
Well, before you go
We
to the next thing about the book,
Yes.
so when you guys wrote the grant, was it specifically for the Book Nook, or you just wanted a grant to improve the school and this was on the list? Like,
So I wrote the grant because when we came back from the pandemic,
mhm.
there were funds that said that how students could be helped because they had been in the home and
Right.
not out. So I wrote the grant. I wrote five different proposals I had.
Okay.
So they gave me two out of the five, and
Okay.
so one was, and explained in the grant my justification was that our students were not able to go to libraries. They weren't able to go and read. So we were 3 years without being able to do anything like that. So
Mhm.
they needed to get back into school and get back into reading. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted a place where they could relax. So
Mm.
that's the way I wrote it and asked for it so that they could have a place, a safe place to go just to explore, to read, to use their imagination.
I love
And
that.
so that was the direction I went with that one.
I love that. See, grant writing does work. That's a
It
perfect
does.
example. That's amazing. The book. Now, how are the kids been responding to it? Are they going in there? Like, how does it work?
So yes, they do go in there. We actually had our grand opening last year about this time.
Okay.
And so the students helped write the rules. And so
Oh.
they wrote the rules for the library. One of the rules, no food or drink.
Oh, wow.
Um, if they are going in there after lunch, they must go and wash their hands first before they go in.
Okay.
They do not want to go in right after recess because they feel as though, they've been sweating and all
Right,
of
right.
that.
Okay.
And so the teachers sign up on Fridays for whatever day or time they want for the next week. They can
Ah,
sign up for as many times as they want.
okay.
We do have at the end of the day, we have dear time, which is drop everything and read. So some of our
Mm,
teachers sign up to go in there at that time to read.
I love
We
that.
don't have students taking the books out; they leave them in there. So they have also learned, which was part of their rules, was to actually put the books back where they got them from because
Mm,
there isn't a librarian.
right.
So they are their own librarians.
I
So
love
they've
that.
learned to put the books back. They've learned to explore. I like this book. I don't like this one, but give it a chance. So they really enjoy it. They love going into the library.
Oh, I love that. That's such a cool experience, and it definitely encourages them to want to read in an environment that's very comfortable for them. So I love that for them. I'm so excited about the book nook, but I know there are other things. So
Yes.
let's move to the next edition. Go ahead.
Okay. So we also have our STEM lab. So let me tell you, our theme this year, every year we have a theme. This year, our theme is if you can dream it, you can stream it.
Ah.
Theme is science, technology, reading and religion,
Hmm.
engineering, arts, and math.
Oh,
And so we've been working on making sure we stream it all year long. Um,
okay.
so we have a STEM lab that we received from a grant also, and that was $407,000.
Oh,
It was a
wow.
STEM lab and a studio. So we opened it up at the beginning of the school year. We had our grand opening. And so now what we are doing is it's downstairs. So what we do is our students, our teachers are doing it after school right now with some of our students.
Okay.
And they go down in the lab. There are 12 there are 6 stations, and there's 4 to a station. So you get 2 students at each station. And they have a computer there. They have a rotation, they have a schedule, and they go down and they work on different STEM projects. For example, we have drones,
Okay.
we have robots, coding, cars. We have, and it goes from pre-K all the way to 8th grade. So when you go down, you have your computer there and you pull it up, and it's sort of like, I would say like IKEA, how you can look at the instructions, but
Right.
the words really aren't there, and they have to figure out how to put it together.
All right.
And then they journal themselves because there's a camera there, and they have to journal and tell whether it works or it didn't and why or why not. They have a place where they try it all out. And then they can move on to the next part in the rotation. So that is our STEM lab. And with that came a studio. So we have a room across the hall where we have a studio so that we have a green screen and a blue screen.
Oh, wow.
We have a color prompter. We have video cameras. So what we did was, so when we had the training, they trained some of our teachers, and they also trained some of our students in the studio.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. It is really great. And I will tell you, when you think about the impact that it has,
Right.
so part of the impact is I went to our church, Dupont Church, and I explained to the members one Sabbath that how we work on the whole child. And I talked to them about our STEM lab. So I explained to them that what I wanted to be able to have the STEM lab downstairs, but be able to bring it up into the classrooms. Can't bring the lab up there, but we can bring what we do in the classrooms, because as I said, is if you can dream it, you can stream it.
That's right.
So I asked for a donation, and we have an awesome church here. And so that one Sabbath, they gave us $14,151.66. I memorized that amount.
And
okay.
one Sabbath. Oh, wow.
And one Sabbath, yes. Which means what we did was, so I told my teachers, what do you want? Tell me what you want. It really gave us that extra push, I will tell you, to be able to this for our teachers.
I mean, this is amazing to hear. I mean, for so long, particularly in our schools, predominantly African American schools, STEM and STREAM and all of that stuff has always been, at such a deficit. We were always stressing how much we needed to emphasize those things more. And to hear that Dupont is doing that with the lab and then bringing the stuff into the classroom, that is so encouraging. Now, I'm wondering, does this give you guys a little bit of an advantage when it comes to like the STEM fair? I mean,
well, okay. So now that you've said that, last year we did first place for 3rd and 4th grade, first place for 5th and 6th grade, and second place for 7th and 8th. So
yeah,
I think that kind of answers your question. Yes, it does. It does really help. One of our students who was in the 7th grade last year, she did something with moisturizers and lotions and all of that. So it does help us. We are using all of the resources because this is for our students. So they are able to use it and to think, and because they're dreaming it, they're streaming it.
Right. I love that. And I said that as an encouragement to our other schools to see how much, when you're not just doing something for a project, but it's incorporated into the curriculum on a daily basis, and they're practicing multiple times throughout the school year, it becomes a little bit more second nature to them when it comes to things like STEM fair, because they do it all the time. So that's great. That is amazing. I love that. And thank you, Dupont Church, for your support of our young people. That's also so crucial. So crucial. Okay, anything else? I mean, you guys are on a roll. What's next?
Let's see. We have We started our martial arts back this year because,
Oh,
as I said, we're working on the whole child. So that is really helping. We started martial arts. We have dance therapy. And so that is something that our girls are involved in.
okay.
We also have what are called guilds.
Hmm.
And one of our former principals did it years ago. And so I brought it back.
Okay.
And guilds are like clubs, and we do it on Fridays from kindergarten to eighth grade. All of our students for an hour are in a guild, and
Hmm.
we switch it around. We move our kids around. It may be some seventh graders, some fourth graders, some third graders together. The teachers decide what the guild is because the teachers have to teach it. So,
Right.
for example, what works for them so that they don't have to go out of their way and do these large lesson plans. We have a teacher who wanted to learn sign language. She learned it, so she teaches sign language in her guild. We have another one who teaches chess. One does oratory, spoken word. We have event planning.
What?
Uh,
Okay.
yes, so we have, and so those students get to plan and work with all our events because
Okay.
they learn how to plan events.
Wow.
We also have drama, and so each year our teachers switch, or if they want to keep it, they can.
Right.
It's up to them, but it's what they want to do, what they want to teach. The
Hmm.
students. So we do have one this year who's doing etiquette. Um,
I love that.
yes, teaching them about movie etiquette, elevator etiquette, grocery store
Oh, some of
etiquette.
us need that class.
Yes. So they are working with that. So we are, and as I said, the teachers choose it. It is their
Right.
choice. And whatever they want to do for the 2 quarters, they will do, and they will teach. And then the students rotate. So they rotate to another guild.
Oh,
That way they get to move around and get to work and learn something else. And it's sort of our way of, because we don't have as many extracurricular
right.
activities,
That's
but
amazing.
having them during the day.
That's
Um,
amazing on so many levels. One, to expose the students to so many different types of things. Some of it's practical life stuff, some of them are hobbies that help develop them mentally,
mhm.
but then also to allow the teachers to tap into something that they're interested in that may not fall under their formal training for, but just interested. I think that's great on both sides for the teacher and the students. That's amazing.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
love
it is.
that.
And the kids love it.
Okay, this is great. Okay, Dupont, doing big things there in DC. Anything
Yes.
else that we didn't talk about?
Oh my goodness. We um we have done quite a bit with our students as far as just working with their walk with Christ, I
Hmm.
would say. Um, we have chapel every Friday, and our students control the chapel. So each week it is a class's turn to work to prepare the chapel. And so they work with their students. I tell my teachers all the time, I want them to work smarter, not harder.
Right.
So they get their students to prepare. And many of them, especially in our fourth grade on up, maybe even our third grade, they can do it now at the drop of a hat.
Hmm.
So if I say, "Oh, this is your week," don't you know that? They prepare. They
Wow.
prepare skits. They prepare games like Jeopardy, Bible Jeopardy. They have the scripture. They might do a devotional. Someone will write it, someone will speak it. They do it all. If you've
Right.
seen our Christmas program, you will know.
Yes.
As I say, it's a ministry. It is not a production or performance. It is a ministry. And if you see our last one, you will see the energy that our students had.
Yes, that was high level
I
production though. I mean, I know it was a ministry, but it was definitely had some production worthiness to it.
We really, our social studies teacher is a former student from here, and
Oh,
so she did the choreography for them.
okay.
Everybody steps in and they do everything, and all teachers' work is hands on deck. Another one of our teachers was a former student here also, and she did the background. And so we try our best to get our students involved in it too.
Right.
So our students made sure that they did part of the choreography, and then it was cleaned up and tweaked by our teacher. But we want to make sure that everything we do, we glorify Christ here. And
Right.
so we want to make sure that we are praising him. And so we talk to our students all the time about this being a ministry, and they have stepped up to the plate. We want to do more visiting churches this year also.
Good.
As we are back into now moving around more.
Right.
We want to visit churches. We visited a few already, but we'd like to visit more just to minister and to meet other people so that our students can see. They love it when they go to a church and they see, oh wow, this is one of our students. They go to church here. This is their church, and and see what's going on. And so we would love to do more of that also.
Okay, that's amazing. So if someone is listening right now, they're somewhere near DC or surrounding, and they want you to come visit their church, or they're interested in the school because they hear all of these wonderful things that are going on there, how do they reach out to you all at Dupont?
So there are a few ways. They can call the school, 202-583-8500, and they can do it that way. They can also go to our website, which is mydpas.org, and DPAS is Dupont Park Adventist School. And they can go online. You will see everything there. You will see the admissions, and you can click on there. It says new parent, how to set up, and how you can also set up, an account and all of that. We also have what is called Welcome Wednesdays, which I love. It's every Wednesday from 9:30 to 10:30. If you aren't able to make it on a Wednesday, we can set up something and you can come. But Welcome Wednesdays, you come in, they meet the principal, they meet the teachers, they get to walk through the classrooms and see what is being done in the classroom.
Okay.
And how everyone's interacting. You get to walk through and just see everything from our pre-K all the way to our 8th grade. So you can really get a feel for the school. I always tell people, please come and visit. Please talk to me, because this is where you want to send your children. And you want to make sure you know me and our teachers.
Right.
So we do meet virtually with people, and before they before they are accepted, because like I said, I want them to understand this is what we do here. So I don't want any surprises.
Right.
And so that, it's like,
clear from the beginning.
Yes, and who's around your children.
Right.
Because that's extremely important. Because these are your babies.
What a blessing. What a blessing. We are so grateful for you, Principal Foote, and your leadership there at Dupont Park Adventist School. We see how God is using your ministry personally and the rest of our teachers and educators there. We see the results from the students and what you all are producing. And so we just say hats off to all of you for what you're doing. We see you. We definitely see you.
I appreciate it. I have an awesome staff here. These teachers are phenomenal. They are thinkers. They think outside the box all the time. And what they're looking for to do in their classrooms, they are really, really, they are trying to make awesome Christian citizens who leave this school. Okay.
Amen.
That's what they're working on.
That's
yes.
the ultimate goal. Amen. Well, thank you so much. It's been great catching up on all these exciting things going on.
Yes,
I can't wait to come and visit now. I have to see the book nook.
Please.
I have to see the STEM lab. So much to see. But thank
Please
you for
come and visit us.
Well, once again, it was great chatting with you and catching up on the great things happening there. We look forward to reporting on more wonderful things coming out of Dupont Park Adventist School. Thanks so much for sharing with us.
Yes, thank you. Have an awesome day.
You too. All right, everyone, we'll be right back after this short break.
AEC family, we are so excited to invite you to Foundations 2025, our AEC Youth Congress, taking place January 24th through the 26th right here in Ocean City, Maryland at the Roland Powell Convention Center. What's going on?
Guys, we have some amazing things happening. We have worship services that are going to be happening here. I don't know if you guys were at camp meeting, but if you thought that was great, you need to be here. We're having preaching, we're having music, we're having panels, everything. We want you guys in this building. It is going to be transformative.
So make sure you join us January 24th to the 26th, Ocean City, Maryland. Get your tickets now live on aecyouth.org. I can't wait to see you January 24th to the 26th.
Oh, welcome back to AC Today Reports. We're so happy that you've tuned in this evening, and we are very, very happy to have with us a special guest, a very talented and gifted young man, Ajani Wilson. How you doing? AJ, I should call you AJ or what?
I don't prefer whatever you call me, AJ or Ajani.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks for joining us. And for those who don't know anything about you, tell us a little bit about who you are. How old are you? What do you like to do for fun? Where do you go to church?
My full name is Ajani Paris. I am 12 years old, actually, just this month. And some hobbies I like to do is play sports like basketball, a little bit of soccer, and some flag football. And the church I go to is North Philly, Seventh-day Adventist Church, which our team just made it to the next round of the Bible Bowl.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Love that. Love that. So, I see you have a really nice bow tie on there. Yeah, it's looking pretty sharp. So tell us a little bit about the bow tie and how maybe someone could get one if they wanted one too.
So for this bow tie, each one of these layers, which are 3, means a certain something. The first layer represents self-worth. The
Okay.
second layer represents confidence. Then the last layer represents self-esteem.
Ah, and so you designed that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what made you decide you wanted to design bow ties?
This goes a little while back when I was like, I'll say about a toddler. When my mom, I stuck with bow ties a lot at a young age, because my mom made me wear them, and then it's kind of just stuck with me, and I liked them, and every time I wore them, I felt like a superhero. It gave me
Ah,
a type of confidence.
okay.
And then one day I was like, hey, I want to share that confidence with everyone. And then that's what made me come up with the idea, starting my own bow tie line for other people who can have self-worth, esteem, and confidence.
I love that. That's so amazing. And now, how many different styles? So that's one of the bow ties. How many do you have in your collection?
We have 3.
Okay. All right. We'll have to show everyone a picture of the other designs. Because that's pretty cool. And in addition to that, I see there's a board there behind you that says AJ's Double Digit Adventures. Tell us about that.
Actually, that is an upcoming book that I'm making.
Oh. So what's inside?
Sorry. The book is about my double digit adventures, like all the fun and cool stuff about having to be double digits.
Oh, the big 110. I see that 10 there. Okay. All right. So what inspired you to want to put this book together? It's a coloring book, you said?
Yes. What inspired me to put this book together was because I like reading books like, have you heard of that comic book series called Dogman?
I haven't, but I'm familiar with comic book series. But that inspired you?
It inspired me because how fun the colors look and the graphics on it. And then at that age, I just turned 10, and also came up with another idea about sharing my
Uh,
adventures like Dogman, and the writer or the author of Dogman shared his adventures of Dogman.
that's kind of cool. I love that. So, have you always had this gift of creativity, always coming up with ideas?
I would say yes.
Yeah, that's good. Good. And to be so young and selling bow ties and putting together books. Do you have any other ideas coming down the pipe in the future?
Yes. Clothing line.
Oh, that's gonna be nice. Now, why are you doing all this, AJ? Why do you want to be the next big young entrepreneur?
I want to be the next big entrepreneur because I've seen people all over TV, who inspired me
Hmm,
uh to do just this. Um,
that's good. So you were inspired, now you want to inspire other people. That's great. Well, we just wanted to say we're so proud of you and everything that you're doing. We'd love to see our young people develop their ideas into things that they can use to earn money and inspire other young people. So that's amazing. We're hoping more people will support. You have something to show us?
yes, the two other designs of my bow
Oh,
ties.
yes, let's see them.
One is a African print one,
Ooh, that's nice, especially coming up for Black History Month. I like that.
and then another is one more suitable for kids, but it doesn't matter what age you wear them.
Oh, those are sharp. Okay, now put the other one in your hand so we can see all three at one time. Those are some sharp bow ties. So all of you bow tie wearers out there, you got to get one of these or get all of them in the set. We'll share the information on the screen how you can order yours. So thank you. Those are really nice. Thank you. Can't wait to see what's coming up in the clothing line. That's amazing. That's amazing. And Johnny, that's great. Well, Johnny, we thank you so much for taking time to talk to us about everything you're doing. If there was another kid your age who was thinking about starting a business of their own, what's some advice you would give them?
Just have fun.
Ah,
Don't
that's
get
key,
really,
right?
just don't get really stressed out about it.
All right. I love that. That's great
Okay.
advice. We appreciate it. Once again, we'll share information how people can support what you're doing. We definitely
I'm sorry, we just
appreciate.
wanted to give correction to where they can contact him. It's Ajani's Adventures at yahoo.com. And that's
AjaniAdventures@yahoo.com.
Yes, and that's AJANIS Adventures ADVENTURES at yahoo.com.
All right, we got it. We'll make sure that's on the screen. That's your biggest supporter back there, right? We love it. We love it. Thank you so much. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with us. We appreciate all you're doing.
you.
We wish you much success in your businesses. All right. Take care. Take care. Welcome back to AC Today Reports. You guys know one of the things we love doing on this program is highlighting the wonderful things that are happening in our local churches. And I'm happy to have with me right now one of our pastors, Pastor Rabiel Torres, who is the pastor of our Rehoboth Church in Reading, Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us, Pastor Torres.
Oh, thank you for the invitation.
Okay, wonderful. Now, we were talking earlier how it was maybe a decade ago or so where we were having a conversation about some of the ministry you were doing in Reading, Pennsylvania, and now you are pastoring another church, also Rehoboth, but not Rehoboth Spanish as it was before. And I'm excited because you're continuing to do some amazing things in the community. So we're looking forward to talking about that. But how does it feel to transition into this new role as pastor of one of our churches?
I'm so blessed that the Lord gave me the opportunity to pastor in this beautiful church, Rehoboth SDA Church in Reading. It is a very lovely church. When you go there, you feel the love of Jesus. They like to hug. They like to praise the Lord. Amen. There, they like to worship the Lord, and this is a very, very like I said before, it's a loving church.
Yeah, I've experienced that firsthand, so I can agree. So, Pastor Torres, I don't even know if we've officially shared that one of the initiatives that our President Kenlock, has this year is to be able to equip some of our churches with an Allegheny East Conference with funds for a compassion project. And for those who may not be familiar with the compassion project, I'll have you share a little bit about that. But the goal is to have 9 of our churches who are going to be doing compassion projects throughout the year, with the goal of winning others to Christ, of course. This is Pentecost 2025. We're all about evangelism this year, and the Compassion Projects is one of the ways that we want to see that happen. And so our churches, our pastors had to submit proposals, right, in order to be considered to receive funds for these Compassion Projects. So let's talk about you. Now, when you heard that President Kenlock was offering this to our churches, what was the first thing that came to your mind? Where do I sign up, right?
Yeah, when I signed up, he said we will give you a deadline to submit your proposal. Okay. And because we already have a proposal for evangelists, what we did is we tweaked it a little bit and focused more the proposal in compassion ministry. For example, the name of our proposal, it was Empowered by the Holy Spirit, Igniting Souls for Christ in Reading 2025.
Igniting Souls for Christ.
Igniting Souls. And basically is the most important thing is provide the needs of the community and where they are. You know, the people like Christ, the method of Christ, it was providing their needs, and after Christ provide the needs, they say, follow me. He said, follow me. Right. And that's what we're doing.
Okay, awesome. You know, when I hear compassion, it really just boils down to caring about people.
Caring.
Not necessarily caring that they come to our church, caring that they become an Adventist, but caring about them as an individual, and then hopefully that love that we show towards them will draw them to,
exactly.
You know, the love that we have and ultimately the love of Christ. Right?
The only thing different about this Compassion Ministry project is that the conference, especially the Dr. Kenlock office, they are providing some finances for this project, and they also have they're working hand to hand with Pastor Hall, Daniel Hall.
Yes.
And this guy, he's something else.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's
out of the box thinking.
He's out of the box.
Yeah.
And he's providing training for the pastors who are part of this project, and for the churches too.
Oh, good.
And basically, he's going to help us. We will have in our Compassion Ministry meetings are the last week of May. Okay. And it's going to be for 10 days. Okay. And during those 10 days, Pastor Hall will come, and he's going to help us with the logistic a little bit. But we will have an evangelist. Actually, is Evangelist Gentry. He will be the evangelist. Okay. And those 10 days, the difference is this is going to be a different evangelistic effort. It's going to be different. because those 10 days, the churches are going to provide giveaways.
That's right.
And how this set up, this is very important. The people come, we announce that, we promote this to Facebook, using Facebook.
Right.
And then we have a topic, like a sermon for that night. But in the end of the meeting, we have a giveaway. One day it could be diapers.
Right.
Another day it could be sneakers.
Right.
Another day it could be something else. During those 10 days, the church are providing something for the community. And the people are coming, they are participating of the whole service, and we have baptism in the end, and then after that, we do the giveaways.
Yeah.
And it's something so, and Pastor Hall also is training us in terms of how to work with those people. He's talking to us about a retention program, how to
that's key.
retain it.
Right.
That's a key.
Once they come, how do you keep
How
them
we're going to
engaged?
handle it, how
Yeah.
we can keep them engaged. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I just want to thank, first of all, God
Yeah.
for this opportunity, and also the Alleghenies Conference for the support. Dr. Kinlock, that he's working together with Pastor Hall in this project, and I know that all the churches, this is going to be just the beginning of something beautiful that the Lord is
Yes.
going to do through Alleghenies Conference.
Amen, amen. And we're excited to see it happen. So you said the last week of May?
It's the last week of May. It's 10 days. I have the dates here.
Okay.
Is the last week of May. It will be, let me see here. I have it here for
We know
the
we have to be
20. Yeah, we still have time here.
Yeah.
It's the 28th. It starts on Wednesday, May 28th through June 7th.
Okay.
And then prior of that, we will have some activities in the community.
Okay.
We're going to have a
Leading
fun,
up to it,
Yeah,
yeah.
leading up. We're going to have a fun day where we will be working with the kids. We're also going to have like a health expo.
Okay.
And
Very
and that is leading to those compassion ministry meetings.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, I'm excited. So it was great talking to you, hearing
Thank
about what you all are planning to do. And our goal is to talk to a different church each month. That's part of this Compassion Project initiative. So we're excited that you started us off, and it looks like it's going to be some great things coming down the pike. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Our world is fast-paced. Impressions, appeals, images. The average person is taking in 250 bits of information every second. Of course, the brain wants to shut it all down, and you put up resistance. And definitely don't hand me anything, okay? It's too much. So now, where does that leave you? Where does that leave you trying to give love to this world? How are you supposed to share love? How are you supposed to make sure that you are the hands and feet of Jesus? Do you have time for relationship building? Where's the exchange of ideas? How are you supposed to connect with people who are so different from you in this fast-paced environment? Yeah, it seems it's hard out here. And it feels like you're gonna need a superpower to break through all this resistance and clutter. And so what we have done at Message is to make sure that we are available where the people are, on your mobile device, online on your website, through videos, through social media, and our digital magazine. Hopefully, we can break through the clutter. Because if Facebook has 10,000 levers, they say, to be able to access the innermost desires of the average user, all it takes is one person, one friend like you and me, powered by the Holy Spirit, to reach and touch that heart that is hurting. That's all it takes. So yes, Message is our superpower. The Message is our superpower. It allows you to lean in silently, anonymously, seamlessly. Move alongside your friends, your family, your neighbors, until such time as the Holy Spirit powers you to give that message for transformation.
All right, and we're back. Before we go, we just want to give you a few updates on some of the wonderful things happening throughout this conference. One of them is this year, 2025, marks 80 years since our parent conference, Allegheny Conference, began. And our president wanted to make sure that we celebrated it well. So we have some wonderful activities throughout the year that you'll be hearing more about. But the first one is an event that's going to take place on February the 15th at our Emmanuel Brinklow Church. It's a panel discussion about our history, and particularly for Black History Month, this is going to be really important for you to tune in. If you want to join us live in the place, join us at Emmanuel Brinklow Church. But if you just want to watch from wherever you are, you'll be able to stream it on our YouTube and Facebook platforms. You don't want to miss that. Also, tomorrow, our Youth Congress, our much anticipated Allegheny East Conference Youth Congress, is happening. It begins tomorrow, Friday, January the 24th. Now, what we will let you know, I know you're excited about it, but if you have not registered, unfortunately, you will not be able to attend. There are no walk-ins, so we want to make sure you all know that up front. We only have space for those who have pre-registered. So maybe next time, but please work with us. If you do not have a ticket, you will not be allowed to enter. But we're looking forward to a wonderful experience with our young people, and we'll share more of the highlights about that next month in our AEC Today reports. And of course, we talked to Dr. Medley earlier. We want to remind you to take advantage of that 30-day challenge. He gave you the 7 things that you need to do. And don't forget, if you are going to take part in any of it, please reach out to him at amedley@aecsda.com. Let him know that you're taking on the challenge. Share your progress with him. Let him know some of the results so we can share it back with our general audience. Don't forget to do that. Of course, some of you know that we have our weekly podcast, the Upset Podcast. We're looking forward to that coming up this Sunday at 6 p.m. And we're introducing a new series in the podcast, and that is kind of our Bible study series. This is back to basics, looking at some of our Christian fundamentals. And we're really excited because this Sunday we're going to be talking about who is God. You think that's an easy question to answer, maybe a difficult question to answer, but still, we want you to be part of the discussion, so make sure you join us on Sunday. Also, a lot of us are looking at the new year and how we're planning for our future, and our philanthropy department and stewardship department is hosting a series of estate planning sessions each month that you need to be a part of. So that information is right there on the page. There's a link below for you to be able to go and check it out. You want to make sure you're tuning into these sessions so that you know how you can set up your family and in your future in a way that is going to be responsible and a way that can make God pleased, which is ultimately what we want to do with everything that belongs to us. Whew, that's a lot of different things happening in our conference. And if you want to make sure you're connected, don't forget to visit our website, visit aec.org. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms, making sure you're subscribed to our YouTube, you're on Instagram and Facebook. Everywhere you are is where we want to be, and we want to engage with you there. So please stay connected with us. And of course, I must end my announcements by reminding you about our upcoming CAMCON cruise. CAMCON is Connection and Ministry Communication Conference, for those who didn't know. And we are celebrating 10 years of our annual conference this year. Woo! Praise the Lord. And we wanted to do it big. Communication and media ministry is such an important part of our church, such an important part of evangelism and ministry. And we wanted to show our communicators and friends, because it's open to anyone, that we value what that ministry means to all of us. And so we are going on a cruise July the 27th through August 3rd, and we're opening it up to anyone who wants to join us. There is still room. I heard someone say, I thought it was closed. No, there is still room. There is still time, but we do want you to make sure you register as soon as possible so that we don't have to give up any spots. Come join us. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have sessions. We're going to have fun in the sun. All the things that make for a great time with people who believe like you and look like you, and maybe some who don't. So please join us July the 27th through August the 3rd. All right, guys, this has been a wonderful time catching you up on the wonderful things happening in our conference. We hope that you will engage with us throughout the month, and we'll be back in February with even more things and more people to highlight your great conference, Allegheny East. Thanks for watching. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time.